Namanda, 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 Namanda. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our family service today. It's nice to have everyone here and there joining us for service. I would like to introduce you to our chairperson for today. Today we have Morton the Horse coming back to assist us today. Morton is a native horse, as you can tell by his Pendleton blanket. He's a good friend of Shadow Fujimoto, who is also a native Appaloosa horse. So Morton likes to come to service on occasion, and he's wearing his mask, encouraging us to be safe, cautious still with our pandemic conditions that surround us. And he has his onenju, and he's ready for service. So for the service order today, we're going to have the reading of the Golden Chain, and then the Raisanmon, the three treasures in Japanese. Sambujo and Juseige will be the chanting portion from the altar, and then the chanting continues with Nembutsu and Ekoku. Then I'll be back for the Dharma message. So please join me in the Golden Chain. I am a link in Amida's golden chain of love that stretches around the world. I will keep my link bright and strong. I will be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all who are weaker than myself. I will think pure and beautiful thoughts, say pure and beautiful words, and do pure and beautiful deeds. May every link in Amida's golden chain of love be bright and strong, and may we all attain perfect peace. Raisanmon. Ninjin ukegatashi imasure ni uku. Buppo kikigatashi imasure ni kiku. Konomi konjo ni mukatte dosuzumba. Sarani izure no sho ni mukatte kakonomi o dosen. Daishu moro tomo ni shishin ni sambo ni kieshi tatematsuru beshi. Mizukara butsu ni kieshi tatematsuru. Masani negawakuba shujo to tomo ni. Daido o taige shite mujoi o okosan. Mizukara ho ni kieshi tatematsuru. Masani negawakuba shujo to tomo ni. Fukaku kyozo ni irite chie umi no gotoku naran. Mizukara so ni kieshi tatematsuru. Masani negawakuba shujo to tomo ni. Taishu o tori shite issai muge naran. Mujo jinjin mimyo no Howa. 100,000 万号にも愛をことかたし。我今検問し従事することを得たり。願わくば如来の真実義を消し立てまつらん。Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda, 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 Namanda. Sambujo and Juseige. 다시 조분노 묘쇼쇼지뽀 극교미쇼몬 세이프조쇼각 리욕진쇼넨 조에슈본요 시금의조도 이쇼텐린시 진리키엔다이고 부쇼무사이도 쇼조산쿠묘 고사이슈야쿠난 가이히치에겐 내시콘모안 에이소쿠쇼아쿠도 스라츠젠슈몬 고소조만족 이오로지뽀 니치간슈주키 텐콘푸겐 이슈카이호조 고세구doku호 조다이슈주 세포시시쿠 구요이사이붓 그소쿠슈토쿠혼 간네시스조만 토쿠이산가요 뇨분무게지 스란니후쇼 간가쿠에리 도시사이쇼손 시간약고가 다이세노간도 고쿠쇼텐님 도진묘계 Good morning again, everyone. So nice to have you here. Today, I wanted to share one of my Reverend Dennis stories. I was recently at my mother's home and checking the backyard, and so all the maple leaves had fallen off the maple tree. So it's time in a day or two. I'll go over there to rake up the leaves. She has a real big locust tree that earlier in the year, they drop a lot of leaves, and so they are not so much at this time of the year, but there's two pretty big maple trees in those. They've dropped all their leaves, and so time to clean that up a little bit, break them up and get rid of those. And so as I was looking at the maple leaves and when I could get to this, another little chore to take care of, I was remembering there was a Dharma story by another minister, and he was sharing a story about a gardener that you would see all the leaves in the yard and one of his job sites, so he would rake the leaves, and he would always be so upbeat about it. He was very happy to rake these leaves, and so he was sharing that every time he sees the leaves that are on the ground, he starts to smile. He says the leaves are like dollar bills because they fall from the tree. He has a job to be the gardener. And so as he cleans this up, it's not just a big chore to do, but something that provides him and his family with money to live by. So he's very happy to see things grow, and then he helps to shape and reshape them and clean up the leaves that are messed and to make it more presentable for the family that owns the property. And he's very happy that he has such a job. So he's so positive about this. And so as I was thinking about this story, I was also thinking about Charmin's home in Payette, Idaho. So over there, the neighbor lives on the corner and Charmin lives next door. And they have this huge, huge tree. I don't know what kind of tree it is, but 40, maybe even 50 feet tall. It's a big, big tree, tall and wide. So it provides a lot of shade, but when the leaves fall, it covers 2/3 of their whole front yard, a corner lot, and it covers 2/3 of Charmin's lot as well. And so it's a lot of leaves. And one of the good things about the town of Payette is they say to bring all the greens when it's time that there's a lot of growth. They tell the people who live there to bring everything to the gutter, so everybody sweeps their pile of leaves or even a few branches to the gutter, and then this larger equipment, city equipment, comes and scoops it all up and cleans up, helps to keep the yards and everything clean. So when this neighbor cleans up, they rake everything very carefully to the street and make huge piles in the street, but they cut the line perfectly at the property line. So all the leaves are off of their lawn, but all the leaves that had fallen on Charmin's lawn are still there. So it's their tree, their leaves, but that's Charmin's yard is also covered with all these leaves from their tree. So sometimes it's kind of, you wonder, is that right? Is that the way to be neighborly? Huh? And so we were talking about how that was, and I told Charmin maybe we should buy a leaf blower. And we started laughing about it to imagine, after they rake that line just perfectly down the property line, that we could blow our pile of leaves right back onto their property, so where it should be. And so they could clean up those leaves instead of us having to do it. And so because of that, I was thinking even more about it, and what is the best way to look at it? What is the Buddhistic way to look at such a situation? Buddhism in everyday life, how do we treat this? Okay? And so sometimes we hear about talking about impermanence, or how do we approach things of this nature, and the cup is half empty or half full kind of perspective. And Buddhism is more than just saying to look at the bright side of things and to be positive about things. And so it's not saying that we should look at it in such a way that never mind that they leave those leaves for us and a big job for us to do, and not just to be positive about it. But I think the Buddhist lesson is to look at the whole spectrum of the life of the tree and what it has to offer. You know, it is a job to rake up the leaves, but earlier in the year when it was so hot, the tree is providing shade for their house and our house too. And the beautiful greens is filtering the air, providing place for the squirrels to be and hide and grow and things like this. And so there's a whole spectrum of the whole year, and not just this one month when the leaves fall. You know, it is extra job, but not just to look at the bright side of things, but to see the whole spectrum of life and death. I think that's one of the things that we are urged to look at when we consider losing someone in our family. Shotsuki services or funeral services, you know, sometimes it seems like to have a celebration of life as people are averting their eyes from the death of someone and the loss of someone, and to just look at the happier times and the good times that we shared. But Buddhism is not saying that. Buddhism is saying to look at the whole spectrum of life and death, and together they make the complete picture. So for this tree, together, the full spectrum, seeing the whole year that we are able to gain from this tree, and a little bit of work here and there, it's just the price of doing business, living our lives. And so I thought that was a nice reflection of how I was able to look at my mother's yard. That led to a sensei story about the gardener, which led to another story about the giant tree in Payette. And so we come across these situations again and again and again. And how do we look at life? How does Buddhism help us in everyday life? And I think this is it, to remind ourselves to look at this full spectrum of life and death, full spectrum of trees and situations that we come across again and again and again. So please join me in Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda, Namanda, Namanda. So please come up and offer incense here, or however you have set up to do at home, to come up in Oshoko with flower petals, rocks, pebbles, marbles. Okay? I'm very happy to have you here participating in our service. We'll close again with Nembutsu. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda, Namanda. Thank you for being here. Namanda, 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 Namanda.